Chiming in with Joanie and Neenie today.
Nenie's wearing a dress today. I've never seen Neenie in a dress, and she's looking cute. You are looking cute with her peace necklace on. And I'm thinking I need some work.
I know. Well, this having a video, we see all of our little flaws.
I know, likey.
And all that. But you know what?
Do you know what we need? We need like the makeup artist here on set here at my kitchen counter. But we don't have that, people.
We don't have the budget for that yet, Joanie.
Yet. Hi, everyone. It's Friday, July 17th.
Mm-hmm.
We're still in the year 2020.
We still are.
We're still amongst.
And our prediction, which was taking the lenses off and all that. I have that on Clipit. We'll get up. I'm learning a lot about editing. And then all of a sudden there's going to be a whole bunch of our shows up. I promise. I promise.
We're going to do it, people. We're trying.
Okay.
We're older, and so, we're a little bit slower with technology, but look how far we've come. Look how far we've come.
6 months, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So we're chiming in. There's so many political things, physical things, so much going on. But we're just going to focus on how we're dealing with it and what the cards say.
Right, because it can feel like a shitstorm if you allow it to feel like a shitstorm. Like I came in real hot the other day at work and lost my shit just slightly. I recovered. But it was like, come on, girl.
There's someone I know who's usually not moody, and they're kind of moody lately.
Yeah, it's
and I was like, oh,
yeah, stop it.
What's that about?
I don't know. For me, both in the health coaching piece of my work and then also the psychic mediumship piece, all day, every day, it's listening and reassuring, and I think I just was at the end of my tether. You know what I mean?
Do you think when that happens, when you do that, do you think you took too much in?
I don't know that I take too much in. I don't think that I give myself enough time to kind of decompress.
So do you have clients back to back?
Often, and when I do health coaching, there's a real heaviness to it because people are afraid or frustrated or lonely or unwell in some way. And it's really hard. I have to offer them reassurance. And then the psychic medium work that I do it actually gives me a high. I love doing that and I get a high from it. But then also, these are people too that are hurting or questioning and so I just it's all good. I'm gonna take a little time this weekend to just recharge.
Okay.
Pedicure, massage.
Oh.
What about you, girl?
Are
you feeling a little whacked out?
I'm oddly okay.
I'm oddly okay. I'm oddly okay.
How I deal with things is working on an art project. So I'm working on my Gandhi and the Dalai Lama big picture painting.
Big interpretations of them?
Did I ever show you that one?
Oh, yes, you did. Yes,
I'm working on cardboard. I go to a piano store on Broadway, and they just discard these giant chunks of
piano
cardboard.
boxes?
Yeah, and so I instead of buying canvases, I have a big collection of cardboard. Anyway, so I found out it is not a real photograph. It's someone superimposed the baby Dalai Lama, toddler Dalai Lama, standing next to Gandhi.
I like it.
And I thought it was real, and Philip debunked it. But the painting.
Boys can be mean. Let me just say that right now. Boys can be mean.
He goes, I don't think that's real. That really happened. The ages don't make sense.
Oh, and you know what? For fuck's sake, Philip. I'm an artist, Philip.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's okay.
Right. And then, of course, I'm always making the prayer tags, and I brought you some.
Thank you.
And we're thinking of starting another web page and tracking. So people, when they find them or see them or post them, when you get them, they can put it on the web page.
Love it.
They're getting all over the United States. My fun little, when the pandemic started, what do I do? I know how to say prayers.
How do I help, right? How do I help?
So I started creating these prayer tags, and they're all hand drawn in Sanskrit prayers and painted, and I put string on them and give them to people.
They're beautiful.
So they're all over Tucson, and they're in Portland, they're in New Hampshire, they're in New Jersey, they're in Florida, they're in Colorado, and even in Minneapolis where George Floyd.
Good. Good.
Someone went there where all that stuff was happening, put one of them there. So
Good.
That's how I'm dealing with things.
Good.
Art.
Art.
Okay.
So,
So
we have our cards. Do we have a question? Do you have a question, Neenie?
Are we gonna, well, we were talking about something you're working on, and maybe, do we want to do that quick fire thing?
Yeah. And know that people, we want your suggestions too. Like, what do you want us to do?
In this video, I'm gonna really make sure that our links are posted so you can get a hold of us, and
yeah, if you want a personal private reading from us, or if you just want, have suggestions, like, hey, I want you to talk about this. But we thought maybe today that we would just kind of do some questions between ourselves. Like, Neenie would ask a question and I would give an answer, pick a card, and then go back and forth. So,
okay, quick fire.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nenie's got 2 decks of cards here.
yeah,
people.
so
She's
spiral
ready.
or I'm kind of out of touch,
She's
but that's
ready.
okay. All right, so I'm going to ask you a question
Go.
first. Let's see. Do you have a question? I thought I was all fired up and had a mind, and then we talked.
Well, you know what? Okay, I'm going to ask this question. Of
Okay, okay.
you. Because I get asked this question often.
Oh, now I like. See,
And-
you have more. Mine are so
Yeah.
private. And
Okay, so
sparse.
I get asked this question often. What do you think are the top 2 lessons or even realities that are going to be born out of this pandemic? Or lessons? What are we supposed to be learning? Is there I think that we all are learning our own things on personal levels.
Okay.
But do you feel like there is some sort of a global or even cosmic piece that we are all should be sort of absorbing into us through this? And so, Neenie, you just did the cards. What
Yeah.
do we got?
So again, how I don't do spreads and all that. I just
Oh.
whatever pops out, I end up just saying.
Wow.
So the first one that came out of 4 of Swords. So if I would interpret that as it is a time to rest
Yeah.
and just chill. And then the star, I always think of the star as the constellations are up there and they guide us. And that is a true north. So during this time, I think that we are resting, even if we are still going to work,
Even
or
though it may
whatever.
not feel like it. Even maybe a hibernation. We're sort of in hibernation. Maybe.
Well, some people are,
Mm-hmm.
but those that are taking the opportunity to do a garden or start a yoga practice or taking this time because their work was shut down, that this is a time where we're really resting.
Well, in this too, the 4 of Swords. If we show them the card, it's this person is lying in a church. There's stained glass. There's a real spiritual piece to this rest, right?
I like that.
So if we look
Our
at sort of
combo.
the
Right.
a universal reality of what is the lesson, it's a spiritual rest, number 1, right?
Right, and we just had to. And also look at, there's an angel, and then there's something up above. Is this little guy is reminding me to that there is
Someone
guidance.
watching over you.
Yeah, and I feel that so much.
Mm-hmm.
And the star, I always feel like just let it come back around. Like you're being guided, like
Illumination.
right. And the constellations are there, but they're always changing their position.
Mm-hmm.
Thought I turned my phone off, but I didn't.
Neenie thought she turned her phone off.
And who's
It
that?
was God calling.
The Nine of Swords.
Oh.
Thinking a lot. I mean, mental anguish, but it was upside down. And sometimes I do look at reverses.
Do you?
So
So what do you feel like is the reverse of
the
the Nine of
reverse
Swords?
is kind of an amplification of this. Is my intuitive, and of course I'm interpreting through my lens, which is
Yeah.
if I was at home and was thinking about these things and got these, I would say, or someone would say, oh yeah, this is all just amplified, not in the reverse of oh, it's okay. I think we really need to be paying attention.
So
Well,
your interpretation, my interpretation of your interpretation is sit the hell down and be quiet for a while.
and we have been doing that.
We have been doing that, and I think some more successfully than others.
Mm-hmm. And it's so. This also is anguish and just mental, but to me, there's so much confusion.
Well, and the Nine of Swords is also really indicative of thoughts in your head. There are thoughts in your head. It's not really reality, or these fears that you have are not really coming to fruition. We are just thinking these really scary, terrible, awful things, and no wonder we're thinking scary, terrible, awful things. Here's Hank.
And we were talking the Wheel of Fortune, and I always like mine because this particular one I like because it has the another little guide up
A
there.
little being. It looks like a fairy.
And all the different anyway, when I usually get the Wheel of Fortune, depending on what the question is whether I want to be on the outer side of the wheel, on the outside spinning around, or do I want to get closer to the center?
The eye of the hurricane.
Yeah, what should I be doing? And then the Eight of Cups, which this guy is taking a walk up into the mountains. All those cups are all stacked up nice and neat, but there's another illumination in the sky. So
Walking away from sadness.
and the way the world was, it is not the same anymore, is it?
It is not. Change is hard.
And there is something there for us. We're still going to be having opportunities, and just how are we going to live our life consciously? There's so much unconscious behavior, and the media projecting, and all the confusion. I just feel like everywhere you turn is just mega confusion.
Everyone projecting, right?
So in that light, I'll ask Joanie, with all of the negativity going around, what is being made for our awareness? What should people be doing in general? Do we act on it with some of this negativity, or is some of it just there to heighten or to create?
I think largely right now people are reacting and not responding. I think that there's a ton of upheaval, and people are knocking down statues, burning cars, being violent against one another. There is a ton of reacting. People are not stopping to think anything through. There is no measured, calm response.
So what are the questions? Why are they doing that?
Why are they doing that? I think it's just it's this knee-jerk reaction to fear. I think it's a knee-jerk reaction to anger. I think that everything is bubbling up, and as individuals, we all have levels of anxiety about what's going on right now. We're all afraid in some way. We're all anxious in some way. We're all uncertain in many ways. But given our particular circumstances, on our ethnicity, on our neighborhood, on our socioeconomic status, those things may be really, really heightened. And so you have this array of reaction out there. And my hope is that people will start to actually thoughtfully, carefully, respectfully start responding rather than reacting. And I don't honestly know that any of that is going to happen until after the election. I feel like there's that big sort of event that's coming up, which still feels really divisive. And I think until that is settled, and probably even a little time afterwards, because there's going to be some anger and frustration. 10 of Cups, harmony, 10 of Cups. There's going to be some anger and frustration in regards to who got elected. So the 10 of Cups I love.
Whether it's one or the other.
Whether it's one or the other, yeah.
Right.
The 10 of Cups I love because the 10 of Cups is just pointing to the fact that we are going to have harmony again. There's going to be harmony again.
Well, and remember in the 60s and 70s, I grew up with that.
Ace of Swords. New beginnings.
Yeah.
But watch your damn mouth, because you could say things, again, that are reactive, that you haven't thought through. Yeah.
So what do the cards say that would help people not react? So
How do we keep our shit together?
How do we not react and take that rest when we're seeing things on the news?
Do the Four of Swords. Do the Four of Swords lie in the church?
Well, I think we want to be conscientious.
I think that some people do, and I think that some people don't. I think that there's a big mix out there. I think that some people are really ready to take on board a new way of kindness, a new way of connection, a new way of unifying. I think that there's some people that want to do that. And then I think there are plenty of other people out there who are reveling in the chaos.
So that energetically. So one thing someone said is
Well, I just drew the 10 of Cups too.
Where are
How
they?
fun. How funny.
Yeah,
Okay.
we should keep those out. So do you think this is just like a past life? Like, is this a whole group of spirits that have come in with this reactionary?
No. I think that anybody that's here on planet Earth right now, we're the transition team. We signed up for this on a soul level to be present on the planet with everything that's going on right now. And we all made the decision together, however many soul lives ago, that we were going to do this together. And
If I had a pen and paper, I'd write transition team.
transition team. And so we have to, there's always going to be differences of opinion. That's what makes the world go around, right? We can't always think the same way. So everything has to rise to the top right now. All of the hurt, all of the anger, all of the sadness, all of the pain, all of the frustration's got to rise to the top right now, and that's what it's doing.
So like a bad divorce.
Yeah, like a really bad divorce.
Well, one thing that the people don't know is when we are going to do a clip, we have to catch up personally. And so we have this great conversations that kind of give us some language. And I was just thinking about all the people, oh my gosh, all the stories about divorcing. So it's like that.
It's
we're
in War of the Roses right now. Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. Remember that movie, War of the Roses?
God, yeah.
For you young people, you will not remember.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. But it is. It's like I always say to people, we're in a reckoning right now. We're in a reckoning, and in many ways, the old guard, the patriarchy in some ways it's being questioned and it's being challenged again. And I think that Mama's coming home. I think we're gonna end up with a lot more yin, feminine, passive energy rather than this really
Strong.
masculine, yang,
Wisdom,
aggressive,
strength,
reflective,
wisdom,
solitude, patience, calm.
loving.
Mhm.
You know. I mean,
Nurturing.
there's something happened on the news the other day, and someone said to another person who was being mean to them, "Just shut your mouth." You know, and I thought someone needs to say that to some people.
I was told several weeks ago, I was with Derek, and we were outside at a friend's house drinking wine, and their neighbors were over, and one gentleman approached, and he came over and he started talking about the whole Black Lives Matter movement in a disrespectful way, and I knew not to engage this person. I just knew I'm not gonna
You're
go
not
there.
going to change any minds.
And he kept going, and he was talking politics, and I just looked at him. I said, "Hey, you know, you seem like a really nice guy. Let's agree to disagree, and let's talk about something else. Let's talk about," he was from Yuma, Arizona. I go, "Let's talk about Yuma. Let's talk about lettuce. They grow a lot of lettuce in Yuma."
The humans.
The humans. And then he started talking about politics again.
He can't help it.
And I just said, "Hey," in a voice like this, and he goes, "Shut up."
Really?
And I said,
Interesting.
And I just said to him, "Did you just tell me to shut up?" And at that time, I guess his wife had pulled on his shirt, and she said, "We have to go." And he goes, "We have to go." And I'm like,
Oh my goodness. I'm
thank
drinking
you.
wine.
Thank you,
That
Jesus.
is, and so why do you think, so these are the things
I think he's
of,
fucking unhinged, is what I think.
but why did you have to experience that?
I'm not sure, because definitely my energy brought that out in him. He was clearly being a bully. He was standing over me doing this. I was sitting in a chair while he was doing this. I wish I would have stood up and let him see my full height, because he was he was a small man. I'm 5'9", people. He was a small man. But I don't know. And maybe I obviously had some combative energy in my aura.
I always think about that, like, wow, what did I do to attract that?
Shit. But people are unhinged right now. And so like I said to you this morning, who am I? Where is it still morning? No. Like I said to you when you came in, my prayer this whole past week is, please let me stop judging. Please, please, please let me stop judging, because it's so easy right now, because people are so reactive, and when people get a little crazy or go over the edge a little bit, at least in our own opinion, we're like, what is happening? Like,
they're wrong.
You're a nut job, and how could you even think the way you're thinking? And it's so tiring to be judgy.
Right. So this bridge of why this is happening, I'm trying to grasp it myself, so I'm playing. So I attracted it. And so I'm going to analyze it and kind of try to diffuse it in terms of my own consciousness and raise my vibration so I could do better work in the world, to do those things, to work on my garden, to finish my Gandhi,
Well, I think that's a piece of it. Definitely. Self-reflection is always a piece of it. But I also think, too, you may have been put in that situation
to be his teacher.
Yeah, for so that he's not gonna so he's not gonna do this to the next
it's
human
hard.
being or next woman. You know, he may think twice.
I always say, has anybody ever seen me mad?
I haven't.
Not many people. When you do, there's like a sonic boom.
Yeah, because you build up, you let it build.
Well, a Taurus.
And then Taurus. I'm a Libra. I don't really. Have you ever seen me mad?
Well, you got mad at me once.
When did I get mad at you?
You got barked at me once when this whole thing about being on time was. But somebody barked at you.
Yeah.
So,
yes. Okay, I remember what you're talking about. Yeah,
and,
I remember.
So I did.
And that's that's an important thing. Like when we get aggressive with somebody or out of character, it's a ripple in a pond.
Yeah.
It's a ripple in a pond.
That's right.
Just like if we're kind to somebody, they'll share that kindness with somebody else. It's another ripple in a pond, and so we need to make sure we're creating the right ripples.
Right. So I'm just doing this as a learning experience
Mm-hmm.
for other people to think about. So we worked together for on a project. I
Mhm.
was racing all over town, and then one person in the cog. So
Mhm.
this could happen on a global scale.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And one person is having a bad day. They're judging. They're whatever. They're living in their world, and that cog is out.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
It's a flat tire.
yeah, And so instead of taking it personally, go through the pain of taking it personally for a few minutes or a half an hour a day, whatever.
Right.
And then say, okay, what part did I play in that?
Mm-hmm.
And then you work your way through it and work in a spiritual way. We do some certain breathing and prayer stuff in our practice. And bam, it diffuses it. And then you don't have the karma.
Right. Well,
I mean, think about if I would have said, "Oh, Joanie's on batch,"
fuck you. Yeah.
and
that's the difference between reacting and responding, right?
right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Reacting and responding.
So because anything that happens to us, we must have played some part in it.
Have to, because like attracts like. And though I wasn't going to throw a temper tantrum about politics on that evening, perhaps there was a temper tantrum brewing in me about something else. I can't really remember right now, but
And when
something happened.
yeah, something. And then I always, and when I'm faced with that, even at the grocery store or at a party or whatever, I go, okay, am I the student here or am I the teacher? And I juggle.
And
Okay.
usually both. You're usually both, right?
And so I could have been the student and listened to him. I, just sound out, and then maybe he would have had a conscious aneurysm and realized what.
Conscious aneurysm. That's a new medical term we've made up right here. Chime in.
and maybe, well, really, I mean, something. You just don't know how it's going to play out.
No, you don't.
Or you could have just stood up and say, "You're a."
Oh, I wanted to, but probably if I had done that, it just would have escalated it. And
Maybe you could have spiked his drink.
Or Derek. If that would have
Karma.
happened, Derek might have gotten physical.
Oh yeah, because you were at a.
Yeah, and so there would be, and then I would have been pissed at him.
Yeah, see, you're playing out all the scenarios. And for me, I don't know what I would have done. I could have gone, my dad was very political. We grew up in a very political household. He was always right. And
well, I think this guy felt like he was always right too. And that night, I just felt like I'm so goddamn done with people shoving their bullshit down other people's throats. I was just so goddamn done of being polite with this kind of shit. And I thought,
so when he walked in the door, did you being so intuitive, when he walked in the door, did you instantly react?
My first hit of energy on this guy was, that's a big ass ego. Before he ever.
And you're just kind of avoiding him.
I did avoid him. And thought,
then he had to get in your face.
He did.
Because you ignored him. So.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I'm just playing with her because I'm just saying that this is some clues on how we can help ourselves get through this. So.
Don't react, respond.
Don't react, respond.
Be thoughtful.
Yeah. So what, do you want to throw another card?
Okay, let's throw another card.
When is so you.
Oh, Two of Cups. So Two of Cups is all about cooperation.
Yeah, so.
Which is just what we're talking about. Thank you, Spirit. Two of Cups. And then the Wheel of Fortune again.
So we got similar ones. Baby. So we're about 30 minutes.
Okay, so
Joanie.
we've done it.
So I'm not going to make any promises, and you'll see it when you see it, and we'll make sure. Joanie is doing a lot of readings all over the country, and
via phone. We're not getting on an airplane, but no, we can do it. We can do it over the phone. And Neenie is doing. I'm teaching a class.
I'm teaching a class with to stand in your light. on July 26th on Awake 101.
Awake 108.
108.
I'm Nenie's PR person as well. Awake 108 on Facebook.
On Facebook, yeah. So anyway, I'm starting to put myself out there more, and so my readings just come when they're more someone in a crisis or emergency. You know,
She's a 911 reader.
I'm the 911 person, and Joni's my 911. And anyway, so putting myself out there more, and but mostly working through art, because that is my
She's
tool.
a beautiful artist.
And just want to make sure that you can help yourself.
Oh,
You know,
you not only can, you have to.
you have to, and it's great to have readers and friends, and
But Spirit always directs you. Spirit always, 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 always directs you on what actions you need to take.
yeah,
And then you can choose to do it or not. But you'll always be given an opportunity.
yeah. And you had a great reading with someone recently, and
Mm-hmm.
was telling me about it this morning, and once again, when we get
Spirit.
together, woo!
Mhm. So
It was
cool.
such a wonderful vibe of someone, and so who's been hanging out at your house, Joanie? Anything good news for you personally?
You know what? I haven't noticed anybody new.
Yeah,
I'd
just
say status quo.
And
I had a beautiful bobcat come visit me, and I had a coyote just yesterday morning
Nice.
sitting up on the gate. I thought it was the neighbor's dog, but it was not.
Uh-huh.
It was the coyote. So a lot more wildlife coming in.
Mhm.
I have about 3 pairs of cardinals that are around all the
Mhm.
time. It looks like Snow White's forest out there, but in the desert. It does. A lot of bunnies and birds and lizards.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I wouldn't say anything
just
different.
general, just positive.
Yeah,
and animals
yeah.
feeling like there's a
Yeah.
sanctuary around your beautiful
Yes.
area.
Yes.
We have a roadrunner, so I always tell the roadrunner, tell Hope hi for me,
Hope is Nenie's mom.
and it gets very close to Philip now, and that's fun.
Good.
And yeah, someone's been coming around the house. I don't know who it is. Might be my dad.
It is your dad.
Yeah,
Are
Norman's
you bringing
visiting.
the paper in? Do you get the paper? He's
Oh,
looking for
you're
the-
so good. You are so good, because he read the paper every morning. And
He's-
there was a place where he folded them up and put them by the door, and I keep the door clean, so there's, and, yeah.
Yeah, he's looking for the
so-
paper.
Yeah, who would know that about Norman? Norman.
People stay healthy, be
Okay.
well. Okay.
All right, love you, and we're gonna really make effort to connect with you.
Bye.
Bye.